Welcome back to the show. That was a clip of Monopoly from JFK way back in 2007.
Monopoly was probably one of my favorite skits that we ever worked on together, mostly just because I wrote it. But, you know, I thought it displayed everything that we did right the best it could, you know? Like
leaving the tripod in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything that we did right.
No, it was a good sketch. You know, in my opinion, it's one of those sketches that is a little lengthy. You know, at the time, I don't think we really took into consideration like how to.
It is
really,
like 14 minutes long, but it's 14 of the best minutes ever put onto film.
Best minutes
film
of my
video
life.
Of ever time. Brandon Jones actually slaps Keith about 4 times, and that's just what's on the actual footage. But he probably slapped. Keith.
Slapped me more after the filming, and maybe even before.
We have an innumerable amount of times in which Keith's actually been slapped by Brandon on video.
And us wrestling. I wrestled Brandon, you wrestled Josh. Anyway, Drew, I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Now we get down to the serious stuff. This is the meaty part of it. What is one goal that you would like to accomplish before you graduate?
Well, I've been working on a short avant-garde film by the name of Mega Buddha versus the USSR, which involves a phenomenally large Buddha battling the entirety of the USSR. I think it's going to be great. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful is all I can say about that.
But you also have, okay, so you would say that that's like maybe something that's all-encompassing that kind of defines your...
I think it defines everything.
Defines everything.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm sorry, continue.
Way to interrupt me, Keith. No. No, I'm also working on a documentary that should be coming out in the next few months. It's called I Quit. I'm working on it with Alan Woodall and Ed Cahill. Ed actually runs the SGTV station, for those of you who don't know. And he's pretty much the God's gift to
the man.
Cinematography and anything.
I've never even met Ed.
He's never even met Ed.
And he's a man. I just know it, so.
It's true.
And I'll be working on that with you, right?
Yeah, it's about quitting smoking and how none of us ever will. So I think it's going to be a nice, upbeat, good time.
Because they're dangerously addictive, so don't ever start. Okay, we'll come back to some of the things you're working on in a second, but I just got to get this off my chest. I saw a lucha libre on a bicycle in my neighborhood. I don't know if you guys know what a lucha libre is. It's a masked Mexican wrestler, and I just thought that was the most oddest, like, coolest thing that I think I've ever seen.
Well, see, there's something you need to know about lucha wrestlers. You see, me being a lucha wrestler scholar can let you know that's actually part of the training method, is to go out in public with a bicycle
and embarrass yourself as much as possible.
Exactly.
So when you get beat up in the wrestling match, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, because you've already embarrassed yourself as much as you possibly can.
Tell me about Buffer Zone.
Buffer Zone. Buffer Zone was a documentary I did recently with Ed Cahill, starring O'Neill Peterson, actually.
Good friend of ours.
Yeah, well, basically, he works at a Food Lion, though we don't necessarily mention that it's a Food Lion. This is a documentary, by the way. And we wanted to show him doing the best work he possibly could. So, as anyone knows, O'Neill Peterson is the best buffer of all time and ever will be. And so we decided to show the world how great it is to buff the floors for, well, even though it's only 4 minutes long, you got to keep in mind that he does this for 4 to 6 hours. And it's probably one of the most miserable things ever shot on video.
It's actually probably one of the most underappreciated jobs also.
People should be ashamed.
They should be ashamed because O'Neill puts a lot of effort into his job and making those floors as sparkly clean as they possibly can. Okay, so we've come now to the apex of...
Ooh, I like that word.
Thank you. I made it up recently. The apex of really what you're working on lately is local night at the Nick, November 5th. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about that?
Yeah, well, what it is a local film exhibition where pretty much only local filmmakers and animators and video artists come and they show their work to the public. I feel like this is going to be a huge opportunity for a lot of Columbia that don't really have that outlet right now. I mean, there is Indie Grits at Nickelodeon, but that's once a year, and that's just kind of I don't know, you have to pay for it, and you have to pay to get in, and
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, don't
you
get me
should definitely
wrong.
still if you have the money, you should still definitely participate.
Yeah,
but if you can.
But for those of us, you know, that don't really have like the extra cash, and we just want something to do to get out. You know, you want to go see some new films. Well, this is like your best opportunity to go and see something new that
and local work.
Yeah, it's local work.
Maybe you'll see something of, you know, a friend of yours did, and you know, had no idea. You could even say that you're almost like a hero.
I would say that.
We're in a recession right now, and you're providing a service to Columbia that is just completely free.
Yeah.
Is completely student-run, student-organized, student-based.
I mean, all I'm saying is Nobel Peace Prize next year. You're looking at it.
Well, Drew, I'm really glad you got to come on, man. I'm really excited to see how everything works out. Local Night at the Nick, November 5th, 10 p.m. Check it out. Be there or enter into it or do whatever you have to do. Just come. It'll be awesome. You have a lot of fun.
Be there or die.
Be there or die. And next we have a live performance of by Stephen Cady, excellent musician, blues man. So go ahead and check that out right now.